Kia ora, Virgo. Thanks for joining me at the Lightroom forecast. Remember, I was going to say, remember what? This is the full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus on the 8th. It's tomorrow at its height here in Aotearoa, and it is really the ending of the Taurus Scorpio axis eclipses that have been going on for quite a long time, not just getting pushed and squeezed in between that last new moon solar eclipse. So, you know, that time in between, things are feeling quite sensitized, more so tense, I feel. But do check out the collective reading that might be of interest. And so yes, Virgo, this is your reading. Let's get these cards out here. Remember, these are very general readings, and if they resonate, that's fabulous. If they don't, just leave it. And do check out any other titles that you notice, that ring a bell, and your Moon, Venus, Ascendant, and Jupiter. I'll just get two more cards and we'll talk about it. We do go through and clarify and pull a few more cards at the end from other decks. Look, we're coming out here. There's the Great Lovers card. First off, looking at this, yes, it's a pretty raunchy representation from Morgan Greer, but the Lovers is a obviously a wonderful card, a card primarily of choice. When I look at these cards, just when my immediate the immediate kind of thread that runs through it is power dynamics within a relationship. Now this you know might resonate for you or it might not, as I said. But the Lovers is a wonderful, on a sort of more esoteric level, it's a wonderful synthesizing of the dual nature of life. So male principles, I'm not talking about gender, I'm talking about male principles, female principles, this kind of integration, and therefore a sort of balancing. It's like a divine marriage. Overseen by the Hermit, of course, which is you, Virgo. So we've got that beautiful Lovers card, whether it is, you know, this is in regards to a relationship, in regards to making a choice or a commitment to yourself or to someone else. We then have the Star, stripped back naked, you know, pouring the waters. We see an element of, you know, it's like Ganymede or something, isn't it? It is quite a beautiful card here because we are stripped back naked. We've got nothing to hide at all. There's sort of a purification of sorts going on here, and people talk of it like the Star being what dreams and wishes coming true. We really truly did come back to our own center in this card, but within that we understand how connected we are to the other realms, you could say. You know, it is a card of healing. So we're looking at choices, commitments. Possibly through that we do experience a level of healing. We then have the Five of Wands. All the fives are kind of challenging because they usually indicate that there is a lesson to be learnt here, and also there's a level of conflict, whether it's personal, whether it's with others. And the Five of Wands, we are kind of having a little bit of it's not really a fight, but it's just more like testing the waters, like seeing possibly what, you know, the boundaries of others and understanding the boundaries that we make ourselves. So it is a card of maybe a bit of argy-bargy, a bit of pushing of buttons, which God, at this time, because it does feel very much like we've been squeezed through something very narrow in order to come out the other side. So it's not surprising, and we see it everywhere in the world at the moment, this sort of level of tension and conflict. And then Virgo, we've got the Page of Swords, the Prince of Swords. Now, if we hearken back to the collective reading, this was the main driver in that reading, and in this particular deck, this adolescent learning mind in the realms of learning the ideas or the machinations of their own power, but also of others, of other people, of groups and structures and institutions, and how they utilize their power, how they use it. Is it for the benefit of more than just themselves? It doesn't have to be. Is it seem to be beneficial, or is it somewhat destructive? So there's a power, there's a bit of sort of power play, power play going on somewhere within this. Or that it's maybe a level of conflict here within your own mind, depending on what's going on in your world, in your life. The other aspect of that page, actually in the Thoth deck, the Prince of Swords, is I don't know why I can't. Bit of a the will center is not clear, and maybe you feel that it's not for you at the moment. What was I saying? The Prince of Swords also in the Thoth deck is unfocused. There's a reason for this at times. Being pulled along by thought forms. We create these thought forms that are just as real as my glasses in my mind. So that prince is taken on a merry dance. You know, they're described as fairies, ideas, assumptions, habits. They can be anything. These little thought form fairies, right? There's a lack of focus. I'm not saying there's a lack of focus through here, but I do think that, you know, it may be a kind of based around a relationship, maybe a little bit of shifting of boundaries within a relationship, and also understanding, you know, your own power, personal power, and how you use that. How do you use it? We all question this at times, don't we? So let's just see, Virgo. We'll go through, we'll clarify the Lovers, because I always see the Lovers as a choice. It's a commitment. Too many cards. Can we have a card for the Lovers, please? For Virgo. Lovely Virgo. See if something come out. The Lovers. Look, we've got two cards here. We've got the Knight of Cups. Look, the Knight of Cups, there's an offering here somewhere. We also have the another five, the Five of Swords, which we see here. I'll just talk briefly about this. Because the Knight of Cups is really emotion overriding the intellect. And sometimes it does, and sometimes it needs to. Sometimes it needs to. We've got that Five of Swords. We're looking at the possibility of someone taking credit for something that maybe you should be taking credit for. You can liken it, you can take it into, it's like anything that resonates, it does, and if it doesn't, just leave it. But the Five of Swords is quite a difficult card because in the Five of Swords, also, we can let ourselves down. We can sort of, we can behave in ways that afterwards we think, oh no, I really did let myself down there. It's a harsh card, and we all experience that, in whatever way. So, gosh, that's interesting, Virgo. Can we look at the star? Is that why we need a sort of level of potential healing here? We've got the Nine of Discs, independence. It could be, look, it's sort of like, well, there could have been some information that was kept from you somewhere in here, and that could relate to a relationship, work, anything. But what we see with this Nine of Discs, to clarify, the beautiful star, is a level of amazing independence, and that give yourself credit where credit's due because you've earned it. This is your wealth. It's it's your resources you've worked away on. Maybe you feel that it is a time where you need to let a few things go, that maybe you're opening your heart up to a new person, or it's a reconciliation from a reconciliation. Interesting. Can we get one more card for that, actually? Well, it's interesting. Yeah, so power dynamics. Power dynamics. As I was speaking of this card before, and we do have the page in here, the Prince of Swords, thought forms, fairies, whatever you want to call them, but there's no focus here. Maybe you just have to let the reins go for a bit, like the Prince does, because there's sort of, at this time too, there's too much going on. If it's not around you, it's within you, so sometimes it's good. There's a requirement here for a level of healing. So sometimes it's good just to let go of those reins, for a little bit, if you can. There's a lot of conflict in here, but it's based around just figuring out your own dynamics, your own power dynamics, that just because someone was deceptive, Virgo, it doesn't mean it's okay for you to be. I'm just rifling on here. We've got the Tower coming out now. I love the Tower. We know the Tower's about building new foundations. Well, hello, and insights, clarity, all of that, breaking something down, letting something go. We're loosening up the reins. We're letting something go in order to heal. And what do we get with it? The Three of Discs. We're building new foundations here, and we're pulling in other people. There are a lot of resources in this Three of Discs that are about other people, about you within group. So it's not all just about some potential relationship here there's a reconciliation, or that there was a deception. It's not about that, or it was, focused around work. That's not even the guts of it. This is about you bringing something new in. And in order to do that, is just to allow something to fall away naturally, to loosen the reins, Virgo. It's really interesting. Let's look at this. So we've got this page, Prince of Swords twice. So let's look at the one on the end. Oh, we'll look at the Five of Wands, because I am quite interested in the Five of Wands as a sort of boundary, a laying down of the boundaries. I think you can extend yours. I think you're beginning to. I think you're beginning to, whether it's in terms of physically understanding that you have a lot more potential for getting things moving, potential for building new things, that nothing ever stays the same. Extending your own boundary, clarifying the Five of Wands. We've got the Eight of Swords, purely psychological state here. We've got 2 vertical swords and obviously 6 horizontal, all international swords, all from around the world. But this is a card of limitation, and more often than not, a mental state where we feel limited, we feel restricted, and we may well feel like that at the moment, Virgo, but it's not going to last at all. It's just not going to last. There's some good stuff in here. There's some beautiful, beautiful things. One can't be too hard on oneself. We have the High Priestess here. The High Priestess. The highways, the byways of the High Priestess. Look, there are higher forces at work here. And when I say that, I mean, it's not just about, the meat and potatoes or whatever that's right in front of you. There are higher energies at stake, in action, in motion. The High Priestess, we're getting a bit of a delay. The High Priestess comes to you. You're investigating your own personal power and how you use it in relationships, how you use it in groups. The High Priestess comes to you and possibly shows you a background, previous rooms of your own internal soul, which have led you to this point. The High Priestess is really about one's own personal mysteries, if we want to put it in a nutshell. And somewhere here it's tied into your solar plexus, it's tied into your center of personal power. And what is that tied into, Virgo? What is that totally connected with? It's totally connected with our self-esteem. So all these things are, bubbling away in this big cauldron at the moment for you, but there's beautiful things in here. So don't lose faith. There's beautiful things and new things coming. Brian Froud, Pixie and Fairies, please. For another level of insight, we've got one card coming out, and I think that's all we need. We have the Journeyman taking off on a new journey. This is a new cycle. There's some new cycle coming up, or that you're right in right now. I do see for some Virgoians out there that there's a relationship that you had to basically heal from, the deception that was involved. I mean, this could be quite specific for someone. You've had to heal from that. There's a time where you need to loosen the reins. Don't be so hard on yourself, because there's some great new things coming. We look at how we do, Virgo, put these self-limitations on our own, what we can do or where we can go, and also how is our self-esteem, where can we kind of improve on that? What can we do to improve on it? This all impacts how we utilize our personal power, which is ultimately the power of choice. So let us see, Virgo, rock mineral crystal for you today. Rock mineral crystal for Virgo, please. Malachite, beautiful, wonderful stone. Pain relief, transformation, vision, and powerful protection is malachite. Beautiful stone. On that note, Virgo, I hope you got something out of this. Reasonably intense. But do check out the collective reading, any other readings that catch your eye, and take good care over this full moon. Remember, there's some wonderful things coming for you. On that note, ka kite, bye.